Guys, Joe here with Midwest Military Equipment out of Washington, Missouri. Today, we're going to be taking you on a little bit of a journey showing you how to install one of our MTVR hard top and door kits on this Oshkosh MK23 behind me. If you've got an Oshkosh MTVR vehicle and it looks anything like this, fortunately, here at Midwest Military Equipment, we've designed a complete roof and door system to be able to put these trucks back together and get them back on the road. This 2010 Oshkosh MK23, like a lot of the Oshkosh MTVRs that have been being liquidated by the government, has been fully demilled. Now, by demill, I mean they removed all of the original armor on the truck. So this particular truck had armor on it, came to us in this condition, and what we've done is created a complete bolt-on aluminum hard top and door kit to be able to get these trucks back on the road. So we're going to be showcasing all the installation from start to finish, starting with the blank canvas like this truck is right here, and installing our new top and door kit that I've got laid out over here on this vehicle to kind of give you a step-by-step demonstration of how all the components go together. Right next to me here, these are our MTVR doors. So these are a door that we manufacture that's designed specifically for the MTVR vehicles. It mimics the factory OEM door. However, we did do quite a few upgrades, like an increased handle size, a better window crank, and an overall powdered coated black finish on these doors. These door kits, so we sell our components a couple different ways. We sell them as a complete door kit, complete roof and door kit, and then our door kit by itself. All of our door kits come with everything needed to be able to install the doors on the truck itself. Exterior handles all labeled, door rods, interior latch mechanisms. We've already done an install video on the door kit. We're going to be covering that in this full top and door kit video. But the biggest thing that I wanted to show you today is this is our MTVR roof kit. So this entire roof kit is manufactured here at our facility in Washington, Missouri. This particular unit that we're going to be installing on this truck is powder coated satin black. All of our our roof kits ship raw aluminum. The door kits come powder coated just because they're a lot easier to package. The roof kits, being that there is so many components, we do ship these raw aluminum just for the sake of, in LTL today, getting a package shipped a couple thousand miles. It's very tough to get a roof kit there without having any scratches on it. So if you're in the market for a roof kit, your roof kit will actually ship raw aluminum, but as for the demonstration purposes today, this particular roof kit is powder coated satin black. So as you can see, all of the components are included in the kit, from the roof assembly, gaskets, weather stripping, all of the hardware, down to the marker lights on the factory style mil-spec light bar. Walking over here, you can see our sponsons, our side sponson, and our rear wall. One thing that we did when designing this roof kit is make the rear wall larger, allowing for a larger rear window. So this is actually a 42 by 12 sliding rear window that installs into the back of our hardtop kit. Gives you overall better visibility out of the rear of the truck. You know, we sell a lot of these trucks for different applications where guys are needing the best visibility possible, and this is just one of the options that we've been able to integrate into our design and make it overall a better product for the end consumer. Another important thing to note is with our roof kit, all of the mirrors and mirror brackets are included. A majority of the time the mirror brackets are gone on these trucks. We have come up with a complete rivet-on solution for new mirrors and new brackets that I honestly think are a little bit better even than the factory ones, so that's a heck of an improvement. One thing that I wanted to note that I skipped over here on the original roof kit, so if you've got an MTVR that has a stock roof on it, it originally has a turret hole cover in it. In the civilian world, we don't need a turret hole cover. We're not going to be shooting guns off of these any MTVRs, so this was our replacement that we've designed. Has a complete integrated roof structure without that turret hole cover. So the main thing with that, why we got away from the turret hole cover as well, is not only are they not more than likely going to be used in the civilian market, but it creates another opportunity for water penetration. So this roof, being the way that we've designed it, it actually has overlapping seams to keep the cab as watertight as possible. So we're going to go ahead and get on installing this roof kit and giving you step-by-step instructions on how this installation works, along with showing you the finished product. So stay tuned. So for the sake of today's video today, we've gone ahead and completely gutted the whole interior of this 7-ton MTVR. The biggest thing on these MTVRs is to make sure you've got all of the original or any other armor accessories that is left behind during the demill process removed from the vehicle itself. So we've gone ahead and laid out all the hardware here that comes in the roof and door kit. This is the main roof assembly and roof gasket. This actually goes on top the left and the right hand corner panels. And then we've got the windshield frame along with our new light bar cluster for your 5 lights across the roof, and the windshield brackets themselves along with some additional weather stripping for the roof assembly. We've got both doors, left and right hand doors, laid out. As you can see, the doors come with all of the weather strip and the handle. They're actually inside the door. And then these are the hardware boxes for the doors themselves, labeled both left and right. This is going to have your interior handle, your exterior handle, your latches and mounts. We've got the mirrors and mirror brackets. The mirror brackets will be shrink wrapped together. We've got the rear window and the rear wall assembly. And then your left hand and right hand corner pieces for the cab assembly itself. These are going to be the main structure that the doors actually seal up against. So we'll go ahead and start off first by installing the upper assemblies on the cab itself. So these are our left and right hand components. We'll go ahead and get these up onto the cab itself, get them just mocked up briefly. We'll get our 2 larger corner brackets and some of our hardware. The brackets, as you can see, bolt in the original holes on the factory MTVR cab. And then the 1/2-inch bolts bolt to the top. We're just going to go ahead and get everything loose to start off with. I went ahead and snug down the 1/2-inch bolt. We're going to use our specialty bolt in the back corner. It's also a 1/2-inch threaded bolt. And then repeat the same process on the other side, leaving everything loose. So now that we've got both passenger and driver's side set up on the truck, hardware installed loose, we'll go ahead and move on to bolting the rear wall up. So we'll get the rear wall up and inside the cab. Sometimes we install the rear windows in them. If you want to install the rear window, it's a little bit easier to do it on the ground. And then we're going to get our rear brackets. So these are actually brackets that hold the roof assembly itself to your left and right hand roof panels. So we'll go ahead and get the rear wall set up in there. You can see the rear wall for the roof is just sitting there now. We're going to go ahead and chase the holes with a 1/4-inch drill bit and use the supplied 1/4-inch hardware to go ahead and bolt the roof bracket on. When we go through and we install the roof bracket, it goes through the rear wall and into the roof bracket itself using the supplied 1/4-20 hardware. Once again, we're going to get all it mounted, all the bolts in, and then everything mounted loosely. We recommend not tightening anything down till you get the roof assembly into position on the vehicle itself. Just helps with the overall fit and finish. We do have slotted holes in a majority of the mounting brackets just for variation in trucks. We have seen some of the trucks have a 1/4-inch variation from left to right. So now we're going to go ahead and install the windshield frame up onto the front of the vehicle. An important thing to note on the windshield frame is we're going to use that supplied gasket that you saw earlier in the video that has a white backing. Go ahead and get that installed across the lower portion of the windshield frame. That's actually going to be our lower windshield frame seal. It is a cut-to-length gasket, so we do give you extra in the kit. An important thing when go ahead and getting the windshield frame mounted to the vehicle itself is you want to go ahead and make sure that all of the tabs originally prior to the demill process and after the demill process are good and clean. Our windshield frame has a very tight fit to the vehicle cab itself. Now that we've gone ahead and gotten the windshield frame mounted up onto the truck itself, we'll slightly lay it forward. Then we'll take our additional roof weather strip that seals between the cab assembly itself and the windshield frame and go ahead and run that up the A-pillar of the truck. And we're going to go ahead and run that same seal material all the way across the top of the roof assembly. Now that we've got all that gasket installed and the windshield frame into position, we're going to go ahead and tighten our lower windshield bolts on both the passenger and driver side. Now that we've got our passenger and driver side lower windshield bolts tightened, we're going to go ahead and fit our margin of our upper half of both our left and right hand side of the cab and tighten the 1/2-inch bolts that we installed loose earlier. I'm going to repeat the same process over here on the driver's side of the vehicle. Then using the self-drilling screws, we'll go ahead and mount the rear corner brackets and then put our retainer in the forward half of the windshield frame itself. Now that we've got the windshield frame and side panels along with the rear wall settled, we're going to go ahead and install the roof assembly itself. Just simply sets on and mounts in the 4 points using the provided hardware. Go ahead and get the roof snugged down and proceed to installing our cabin light bracket. So the cabin light bracket is going to bolt using these supplied brackets to the upper part of the windshield frame. The hardware is going to go from the inside out. You can go ahead and snug down all the hardware once you get that installed. And we're going to put our corner roof brackets in. It's just an additional support bracket in order to hold that 5-light light bar assembly. Now that we've got almost all the hardware tightened on the light bar mount itself, we'll go ahead and take our pre-assembled light bar. So the lights do need to be installed into the bar prior to assembly. Slides in right across the front of the windshield frame. And hardware is placed from the top down. Now that we've got that installed, we're going to install our last piece at the rear wall. So this is just a snifter bracket for the center of the rear wall using thread cutting screws. You can go ahead and get that installed. Next, we're going to use the supply rivets to drill across the rear wall assembly itself, which holes are already pre-punched in the rear wall itself, into the cabin to be able to rivet the rear wall to the cab of the vehicle itself. Now that we've got all the rivets installed, we'll go ahead and reinstall the rear window. The rear window is a standard RV window. There's tons of different videos and all of our other content on our social media channels and our YouTube channel covering on how to install these rear windows. It's a very simple installation using trim ring screws and the trim ring. The flat dish of the trim ring goes to the inside. The window comes through the rear wall, and then you use those screws to go ahead and install the trim ring to the window itself. As you can see, we've got all the trim ring screws in and tightened down. We've pretty much completed the roof install. Once you get the roof installed, a recommendation that I have is go ahead and seam sealing all the edges before moving on to installing the doors. So we've got all the door hardware laid out. All right, so now that we've got the roof fully installed onto the vehicle itself, we're going to go ahead and proceed to install the passenger side door. So for the sake of this video, we've got an alignment pin. It's a very nice feature in order to help install the doors, especially if you're doing it by yourself. The doors are fairly cumbersome. We definitely recommend using 2 people. However, if you do have some alignment pins, 1/4 inch diameter, you're able to slide those in through the door hinge itself to be able to help mock the door up while you go ahead and place the hardware. We'll go ahead and get some of the hardware in and install our supplied shim. On some trucks require the shim, some do not. An easiest way to get the shim in position as well is to use a screwdriver to force the shim in as you're aligning the hardware to mount the door itself. We'll go ahead and torque all these Allen head bolts down, verify fitment of the door to the cab assembly. Now that we've got the door completely bolted and we've adjusted fitment on it, we're going to go ahead and install the exterior handle. The exterior handle installs very simply. You remove the mounting bracket off of it, install the exterior handle through the door, bolt the new interior bracket onto the handle itself, tighten the hardware. Now that we've gone ahead and installed the exterior door handle, we'll move on to the latch assembly itself. You can see there is an inner and an outer portion of the latch. First, we're going to go ahead and put the inner assembly into the vehicle itself and then mount up the exterior assembly. I recommend leaving the hardware loose during this part of the installation process. If you noticed, you're going to be receiving a few additional shims. These shims are for actually shimming the latch assembly out. This particular one, we only needed 2 shims. We went ahead and installed those shims and tightened all the hardware. Next, we're going to be installing the inner cover panel and the inner door handle. As you can see, we're installing the hardware from the front of the interior door handle first, and then installing the rear hardware. Go ahead and getting it tightened down to the body of the truck itself. Last but not least, we're going to move on to the door rod assemblies. So the door rod assemblies, we ship them adjusted as close to standard spec as possible. However, further fit and finish on a truck-by-truck basis on these door rods and adjustment of these door rods is critical for proper latch operation. The door rods install very simply into the original clips that are provided. The retaining clips snap into the rod itself. There are two different rods, as you can see in the video here. Now that we've got the rods installed from the handle itself to the latch, we'll go ahead and install the top cover plate that helps guide the rods during standard door operation. Once we've got those installed, we went ahead and installed our door latch rod covers, and that completes the aspect of all the interior and exterior door latch assembly itself. Next, we're going to be moving on to installing the exterior door handle on the door itself. The exterior door handle mounts using the supplied hardware that's shipped with the handle. It is a plastic handle, simply 2 bolts, 2 nuts, 2 washers. Get it bolted onto the exterior of the door itself. There's pre-punched holes in the door for the exterior door handle. Once we've got the exterior door handle removed, we're going to go ahead and install the door to cab weather strip. The door to cab weather strip is a cut to fit weather strip. So we give you extra length on there just in variations. Some cabs take a little bit more, a ½ inch more than others. So we give you a little bit extra there. When installing this weather strip, it's normally easiest to push on with your hands as it is a push on type weather strip. However, for our installation, we typically use a dead blow hammer to help get that weather strip fully seated onto the door weld or onto the cab weld itself, ending with our seam at the bottom of the door sill itself. Now that we've got the doors and the roof kit installed, we're going to go ahead and install the mirrors and the windshield glass on this vehicle. So windshield gasket pushes on very similar to the door weather strip. We went ahead and got the weather strip installed for the window all the way around the perimeter of the windshield frame. Next, we're going to install the glass itself. Definitely recommend 2 people or a set of suction cups on installing glass. Always lube up the gasket well. If you do not have specific windshield gasket tools, definitely recommend having this installed by a windshield professional. So we've got the windshield installed fully now, seated into the gasket itself. We're going to go ahead and move on to installing the mirror brackets. So the mirror brackets have 2 brackets that pop rivet to the windshield frame, then your upper and lower bracket. First, what we're going to do is pop rivet the 2 windshield brackets onto the windshield frame itself using the supplied aluminum rivets. Now that we've got the upper and lower mirror brackets pop riveted onto the windshield frame, we're going to go ahead and mount the mirror bracket arms themselves. So the mirror bracket arms, there is a top and bottom. Flange up on the top bracket. Flange down on the bottom bracket. We'll go ahead and install our stiffener for our mirror brackets. And then our mirror arm itself. So this mirror arm bolts on to the end of the mirror brackets through the stiffener to give us a strong, robust mounting position for our West Coast style mirrors. Now that we've gone ahead and gotten all the mirror brackets snugged up, we'll go ahead and tighten the bracket on the mirror frame itself, and then be able to mount our mirrors, our mirror heads. Now that we've got all of our hardware tightened up on the mirror brackets itself, we'll go ahead and work out to our outer mirror bracket and tighten the brackets for them as well in order to be able to mount our mirror. We've got the mirror mocked up and installing the hardware back into the mirror. We'll go ahead and tighten that up. And that wraps up the assembly of the MTVR mirror brackets. As you can see, we've completely completed the passenger side of this 7-ton MTVR, from roof to doors to mirror brackets to the rear window and rear wall. All right, now that we've got the mirrors finished being installed on this Oshkosh MK23, this is pretty much a wrap on our MTVR roof and door kit installation. We appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video today. If you've got an MTVR, whether it be an MK23, MK25, MK29, MK31, any of the MK series MTVRs, and you're missing your roof and doors, or just your doors, here at Midwest Military Equipment, we have the solution for your MTVR trucks. So you can purchase these roof kits directly off of our website, midwestmilitaryequipment.com, or you can give our sales team a call at 636-900-9046. Hope this video did a good representation of understanding on how this roof and door kit gets installed on one of these MTVRs. Be sure to drop your comments below. Give us your feedback. We'd love to get more feedback on our installation videos. Let us know how we're doing. So we'd love to hear from you. Once again, thank you guys for watching this video today. Be sure to like and subscribe.